Grenoble players charged with rape. After 6 Grenoble players were questioned by police last month over a gang rape charge, 3 have now been officially charged. Prosecutors in Bordeaux have announced that Dennis Carlson, 22, Rory Grice, 27, and Lloyd Jams, 22, are accused of gang raping a 21-year-old woman in a hotel after she met them at a nightclub in Bordeaux following their top 14 defeat by Bordeaux Beagles on March 11. On March 22, Carlson, Grice, and Jams were arrested and detained at a police station in Bordeaux while Chris Farrell, Dylan Hayes and Peter Kimlin were brought in for questioning. After this initial round of questioning, all the players were called in on Tuesday once again for questioning as part of an ongoing investigation except for Kimlin. It appears that Kimlin, 31, Farrell, 24, and Hayes, 23, have been cleared of any wrongdoing, but the other 3 have been charged and could face a maxium prison sentence of 20 years if found guilty, according to sport24.co.za. According to prosecutors, there was serious or consistent evidence against them which makes their participation likely as perpetrators or accomplices in the offence of which they have been accused. II Rugby criteria for Super Rugby. Representatives of the 6 Super Rugby franchises on Tuesday agreed a set of criteria to determine the 4 teams to represent South Africa in the competition from 2018. SA Rugby confirmed on Tuesday, at the first sitting of new franchise committee established by SA Rugby in December to streamline and professionalize the running of rugby. The CEOs of the franchises and other committee members identified areas on which the teams would be measured. The agreed headline criteria, which have been weighted, are financial and economic sustainability, sustainable support base, team performance, and stadium and facilities. These criteria were further broken down in sub-criteria, and measurement mechanisms for each of these were also set and agreed upon. SA Rugby will now collate the applicable data to prepare a recommendation to go back to the franchise committee to make a decision on the final 4 teams. This proposal will be sent to the Executive Council before it will go to the General Council for ratification. The committee looked at the key question of what are the fundamental criteria required to make a successful South African Vodacom Super Rugby franchise, said SA Rugby CEO, Jury Roo. We have reached this painful point partly because of over-optimism and partly because we have not always taken a hard-nosed business view of what is good for rugby. It is the right process with a challenging outcome for 2 of our franchises, but they have all engaged in the process, at the end of which the data will drive the conclusion. We have more work to do, but we are moving the process along as swiftly as is possible. The meeting was chaired by Mr. Mark Alexander, SA Rugby President. Its other members are the Deputy and Vice Presidents, Francois Davids and James Stoffberg respectively, as well as Roo. The franchise committee will consider the data at their next meeting, scheduled to take place within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Mort labels delay a disgrace. Wallaby great Sterling Mortlock is upset over the delay regarding the decision of which Australian franchise will be cut from Super Rugby. Mortlock, who played for the Brumbies and Rebels during his Super Rugby career, is also shocked the latter are in the frame for being axed. The decision was expected to be made on Wednesday or Thursday, but it now seems the Australian Rugby Union will delay until next week. Potter blow hits Bulls. The Bulls will be without back row Jacques Potgieter for this weekend's Super Rugby game against the Jaguares due to a hamstring strain. Potgieter, who only returned last week against the Sunwolves, is now sidelined once again as the Bulls season reaches a vital stage. In other injury news, prop Jacoby Adriaans is suffering from a concussion but isn't yet ruled out of Saturday's game at Loftus Veerveld. However, John Roy Jenkinson, Ruan Steenkamp, Dries Swain Powell, Arno Botha, JT Jackson and Johnny Kotze all remain on the sidelines. Bulls head coach Nolis Mare does have center Ulrich Bayers back in training, while prop Conrad van Vuuren should return by next week.